level. Next level.
I should be more optimistic, right? You know, with any luck, we may be able to recover data from an iPhone 7. That is my plan, but I got to tell you, between OBS and my camera and I don't know what else, last week everything just kind of froze. And that's a bummer because if you guys can't see what I'm doing over here, then it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to try to do a repair. So, Darian, what my plan was is I've got like the problem phones here that are kind of set on at the back of the queue because all the easy stuff is done, and this is what I stay up late at night doing, trying to figure out solutions to some of these problems. So on occasion, I've had people watching the stream kind of give me some, point out some things that I missed or bring some new information to the table, and if that happens today, that'll be awesome, and if it doesn't, then this person may not get their data back. But that's the plan. So anyways, welcome everybody. We got Joshua, we got Johnny Chang, Nate's Tech Services, Darian, and yeah, so that's who we have in the chat so far. For everyone else who's watching, welcome. I know that you can't chat unless you're logged in, but we know you're there, so that's cool. So anyways, guys, first of all, if you haven't seen it, Nate set up his new camera and everything worked, so congratulations to Nate. He's got a new camera on his desktop, so when you watch his videos and his live streams, all the quality is going to be even better than it was before. And me, what did I do? Remember last week I was having trouble with this DSLR setup here on the microscope, so I said, hey, let me get a different type of camera. And yes, I did. I went online and I bought one of these dudes. I don't even have the model number off the top of my head, but anyways, this connects somehow to the microscope. But you don't just buy these things, take them out of the box and plug them in and they start working. I should have known that. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I'd just click a button, buy something, have it delivered to my house and plug it in. But of course, this isn't made to connect to a microscope just out of the box. So I've got to get an adapter to plug in here. And once I get that adapter, I'm probably going to have to get something that reduces the magnification so that you guys can get a wider angle. So anyways, I'm going to give this camera one more shot and hope that things work. Like I said, last week it failed, and I don't think there's much of a point to me doing a repair when you can't actually see what's happening, but maybe you can help me out anyway. So what I'm looking at right now, if you saw at the beginning of the stream here, is I've got an iPhone 7 Plus. I've actually got two phones. I got an iPhone 6 and an iPhone 7 Plus. Both of them came in from the same customer for data recovery. Now, the tricky part about this is they have been worked on by someone else already. This iPhone 7 Plus has no screws in it whatsoever, and I'm going to try to make some sense out of what they did on that one. The iPhone 6 Plus, I've already ruled out as an option for repair because I took this thing apart. I did trace down a short on the one of the 1.8 voltage lines, and that short appears to be directly inside of the CPU. So there's a hot spot that as soon as you let any amperage go there, it just gets so hot that it'll burn your finger. That's on the processor itself. So unless I'm overlooking something, that's a pretty bad sign. I don't know how to recover from that, and you probably can't see it on this camera. Let's try it under here. I'll put it under the scope. But there is a huge dent. Let's back up here. There's a huge dent right here. Yeah, again, it's probably gonna be a little tough for me to show on this camera. But the back of the housing has a big dent right under where the processor would be, although it's on the other side of the board. But I think this thing got hit pretty hard and it knocked something loose inside there. And again, if it's shorted underneath the processor, there's not really a whole lot that I can do, I don't think. At least I'm not going to attempt it unless the customer says, hey, nothing to lose, give it a shot. And even then, I think the outcome is questionable. Now, I'll get onto this iPhone 7 here in just a second. I want to make sure I don't get too far behind on this. Let's see, is it still moving? It's still moving, cool. So let's see, what is buffering for me? Okay, tell me if it keeps buffering. I should have good stream health as far as I can tell. Crowdsourcing troubleshooting, that's the idea, Harvey. Thank you. You guys are smarter than me, so at least I think the more brains connected at once, the better. And that's kind of a concept I think here we could do, like a crowdsourcing, solving problems. It'll make sense, right? I like how you put it, all on us, Mike. Maybe this person will get their data. If not, it's your fault. Exactly. Okay. No, I'm not going to do that. But I will say this. This one, I'm just... Here's a weird thing. So this thing came in. Obviously, it's been worked on, like I said. And if you look up here at the top, we got a bright red sticker right over here. Oddly enough, no sign of corrosion in this area. Okay, so I've checked this connector, the backside. Everything up here looks nice and clean. So either the moisture didn't cause any corrosion, or somebody came in here and kind of cleaned this up beforehand, which is what I suspect. And if we go across here, over this direction, all the connectors look clean, everything looks good here. When I flipped it over, I did notice this, what you were looking at during the beginning of the stream, and that is corrosion right here next to the Wi-Fi, which is one area that these tend to get wet. But the Wi-Fi seems to be okay at this point, and here's the oddball thing. I wanted to kind of show you what I saw this thing doing earlier, well, yesterday when I first took it in, and today I hook it up to the charger, to the ammeter, and the battery starts charging. I wasn't getting that yesterday. Like, it wouldn't do anything. So I went through, tried to find the obvious things that were wrong with it. It was not charging the phone. It would go to like 0.02 amps and just get stuck there. And now I get a battery logo on the screen. So I'm thinking, let me get my cables connected, get this thing ready to back up, and let's go. And unfortunately, iTunes tells me that there's an error. The phone needs to be updated, which I'm okay with. If we update it, we should still be able to preserve data, right? So, of course, during the update, I get error 4013. My first thought is let's eliminate this charge port because, that's the most obvious thing to do. I mean, it could be the USB cable. This is a brand new, or is it? This is a brand new Anchor MFI USB cable I just got in the mail today. I have a second one we can plug in just to try it. I don't think that this is going to solve the problem. I suspect it's something more complicated than that. More than likely, something on the board because of, I'm pretty sure this thing got wet. Obviously it did, unless they were cleaning it with something and they got that sticker wet. But you can see this corrosion, right? That's pretty clear. So if I try another USB cable and nothing happens, I'm going to try to eliminate the charge port, and then of course we'll proceed from there and probably end up, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but probably end up considering whether the TriStar or Tigris ICs might have been affected in some way, but the charging functionality is still there. So this battery does charge at 1.5 amps when it's plugged in, but I suspect that there's some other problem, and error 4013 can be somewhat ambiguous sometimes, and it could be something much more serious, but I'm being optimistic here, and I'm hoping that maybe it's just something to do with the USB connection that's preventing the phone from coming on. Here's the other thing. When it boots up, a lot of times the image disappears, and I'm not sure why, but as far as extracting data, that shouldn't be a big problem, except, we get to the point of inputting the passcode, which will be tricky, which I hope that they gave me the right passcode. So someone please shoot me. Greg, I've been dealing with a web hosting company whose support is brain dead. I wish the heck I could bill them for all my time. Yeah, that's fun. So here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I am going to throw this board back inside the housing. And again, I know it's going to kind of be a bummer because you guys can't really see, except from a real distant view here, what I'm doing. But I'm going to plug it in momentarily, try a different USB cable, and go through the restore process again. Although, it's weird. Here's another thing about this. They took this person's cameras. Like, they're gone. The main rear-facing cameras are just gone from the phone. And I have no idea why. And I don't even know if we can restore. We should be able to restore it without the cameras, right? Excuse me, update it. Do you think? I'm not 100% on that. And I don't think I have an iPhone 7 Plus rear-facing camera here. That sucks. All right, I'm going to try it once more just for the heck of it and see if we can get anywhere. But again, I don't see how my brand new USB cable could be the weak link here. Anything's possible. But I still want to give it a try just for the heck of it. And if you guys know for sure that we cannot restore without a main rear-facing camera, let me know. That's probably going to be part of the problem here. So we will plug in the display, connect this thing to the computer, and then iTunes, of course, will probably tell me that we already tried to update it and it didn't work, and then it's going to want me to restore, which is annoying. Almost as annoying as this plugging this camera in, plugging the front-facing camera in. I love these. It's funny how you get used to working under a microscope and then you realize you can't see without one. So I'm just going to do that from here on. If this doesn't work out, I've also got an iPad Pro with no touch functionality, which is a fun one. And the connectors look like somebody tried to remove them with a hammer. I don't know. It's in pretty bad shape, though, unfortunately. So that one, I don't know if it's going to come back, but I'm at the point where it's like, okay, if I can't fix it, I'm just going to send it back to whoever owns it. And I think that's where we're going to end up. So let me get my other cable real quick. If I can. Okay. So you can see, brand new, in the box, never been used before. So if I got one defective one, which I highly doubt that's the problem, this should rule that out, right? We should know for sure that if two of these cables are bad, the odds are it's not the cable that's the problem. Okay, so let's get this open. And I will even try, can I try another USB port on my computer? Yes, I can. I do have one more, but you know what? I'm almost afraid to plug anything into it because my camera likes to freeze for no apparent reason. Let's try this. I'm not going to use the 3.0. because last time that messed me up. Okay, so let's plug it in and see if you guys can actually even see the Apple on here. Probably can't. Well, I assume it's going to boot if there's any juice on the battery. And then we'll know in a second if it pops up on iTunes or not. Hopefully. Unless the battery died again, which is entirely possible. Let's keep this sort of isolated here. All right, I don't have a charging icon. That's kind of interesting. Let's plug this into the charger just for fun. Just to make sure we're getting charge. Okay, so now I am at 0.12 amps on the ammeter. So this phone has gone, it's probably in recovery mode, but it's not being recognized by iTunes. So let's see. Do I have to open iTunes again? Oh, there we go. Okay, so now, if you can see, the apple just flashed on the screen, and then it went away. And I don't know why. But let's see if we get it any sign of life here. Okay, so we can come up here. Okay, so it says there's a problem with the iPhone that requires it to be updated or restored. So let's see if we can put this, well, let's go to update, and then I will try to get this to where you guys can see it. I think we have a screen where you can at least see the progress. Right? Where is it? I'm probably going to go to the wrong scene here right now. Is it there? No, it's not there. Is it there? No, that's not it either. Oh, I know where it is. It's right here, Mike. There you go. Right in front of you. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're preparing to update, and I just have this feeling it's going to be another error 4013. So at least we'll at this point know that the cable is good, and then we will try another charge port. And what's awkward about this, of course, is that I can't use my nice little red box. The Shapus, I like to use this to boot up the phone on the power supply, but you can't do that and be plugged into a USB port at the same time. So we're going to have to short the pins, which is always fun, especially because on this one, here's what's funny. When you go to, can we move this? When you go to turn on the iPhone 7 Plus, the camera just closed. Take a look here on the screen, and your, oh come on, your lock button is right here where I have it highlighted in red, and the closest ground is where? Over here. So you got to go from here. I guess we can go from here to here. That would work. All right, so we can do that. And how do I get iTunes back on the screen? There we go. Okay, did my chat freeze? Because now it seems like it's been saying the same thing for a long time. Okay, you get on the front. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Hawaii? All right, and what's happening? Waiting for iPhone. I don't see anything on the iPhone screen yet. You guys use 3U tools at all? I have been able to get some phones to restore through that app, even though they wouldn't restore on iTunes, but there seems to always be a possibility that if it can't restore, then, or excuse me, if it can't update, sometimes you can update with 3U tools where you can't with iTunes. Here we go. So we got error 4013 again. But if it's unsuccessful, sometimes it will go ahead and restore the phone, which obviously we don't want. So more info here is just going to tell us to go to iTunes, but I think I'm going to try one more thing, and that is switching out. God, I really wish you guys could see what's going on here under the camera. But I'm going to try a different charge port. I really don't expect a different outcome. I have a feeling this is going to be more serious than just plugging in something as a solution. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I'd love to be finished with this phone. And it's very disappointing when you invest a lot of time and you can't get anything to happen. But I'm really thinking this is more serious than any of these connectors, and it's unfortunate that this phone went somewhere else. And like I said, they took all the screws, they took the rear-facing cameras, and no information as far as what they actually did. I'm assuming they kind of scrubbed it with a brush or something, and they did not. They did remove the stickers from the back. They did not remove the shield from the front. I'm not sure that makes a difference. Could. But here we are. So let's get iTunes off the screen. Yeah, I'd like to make this way more interesting, but today I do have to get these phones knocked out as soon as possible. Okay, good. We still have a camera. All right, so we are going to, plug in our new port. Oh gosh, we have to have the screen to restore, don't we? Darn it. That is quite annoying. I shouldn't have unplugged everything just now. All right, we're going to need power. Let's go ahead and plug the screen back in first. Did you guys watch this this Steve King guy that was during that Google interview where he held up his iPhone and he asked the guy from Google why things were popping up on his phone screen, and the guy had to tell him that phone's actually made by a different company? I thought that was one of the funniest things ever. It amazes me that people who are in charge of, the laws that govern these devices that we use, and yet they really don't have much of an understanding. Not all of them, but a lot of them don't really have an understanding of how this stuff works. That's kind of scary. And I heard an analogy recently that I thought made a lot of, it kind of was a good way to put it. And that is, if you leave our future, or, future generations, what's in store for them is up to people who are only going to be around for, another 20, 30 years at the most. That doesn't seem like a great idea. It's a bit like having someone choose what movie you're going to watch tonight, and then they leave halfway through, and you're just kind of stuck with whatever that decision was. I don't get it. But, okay, so this is going to be fun, because I've got to jump these pins, and I got to be able to see where they're at. I really wish that I could show you guys what's on the desktop. Maybe we could just do this. Sort of. I don't think that's going to work. All right. Amazing how clued out they are. Ours here in Canada are on par. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. You just wonder. And it's understandable, though, in a way, because up until the last, 20, 30 years, technology never really just took leaps and bounds. I mean, I guess it did at a certain level, but the way things are changing now is so much more dramatic than it was historically speaking, that the way that we're running things is kind of based on very old ideas of how government should work in general. And how do you tell people that, hey, you need to get caught up because you're the one making the decisions here? And if you don't know that Google doesn't make iPhones, it concerns me as far as what do you know, I guess, is the question. All right, so what I'm going to do is short this pin right over here. This first pin here has to go to ground, and I can actually reach to ground on the left-hand side of these tweezers. So this will work, and we should see one. Oh, I forgot to put my power supply display on the screen. Let's see if we can do that real quick. So I have it stored here. That way you guys can see what I'm seeing. What is this thing even called? I have some weird program. Is it DPS? There we go. DPS software. I think we have to do a screen capture of some sort, though, so you can see it. Oh, you know what? I think we could put it up here, and then we'll just crop it. So if I do that, and we show you this, then you should be able to see what's going on with my power supply, I think. Let's resize this sucker, so we don't need all of that. Okay, so we should be seeing, oh, darn it. I think we should be seeing, why are we not seeing voltage and amperage? Because the power supply is on. Let me cycle this real quick, see if that makes a difference. So for the record, I will get this camera thing worked out soon, hopefully by Monday. If not, definitely by the week after. I will not be able to do a live stream next Thursday, but I do have big plans once I get all this stuff working. I almost want to apologize for this evening's because it's not going to look like I really want it to, but I'm working on it, guys. I'm going to make it bigger and better somehow. Okay, I guess, I don't know why it's not showing me the output here, but if it doesn't, you'll have to take my word for it. Okay, so we are going to, what am I thinking? We don't have to short pins. All we have to do is plug in this cable. Jeez. Where were you guys on that one? We don't have to short pins, duh. We got a lightning port connected. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in, and I wonder if we'll be able to see power consumption here. Let's see if we turn this on. 0. Okay, we may or may not. You guys are supposed to be able to see what I'm doing, but it doesn't seem like it's working. Okay, so I plugged it in. I have no image on the screen. Okay, now I do. I've got an Apple, and we're getting 0.01. And that's not showing anywhere on this screen, so that's not helpful at all. Nate's got big plans too. All right. All right, well this is kind of crazy. So earlier, the phone was actually powering up and connecting to iTunes. And if it was in DFU mode, I would think we'd have more than 0.01. Is that a normal recovery mode draw for an iPhone 7 Plus? No image on the screen. Yeah, well, this isn't helping anybody, so might as well get rid of that. I don't know why it's not showing me. Oh, interface, is that what we want? Control? No. Connect. How about connect? There we go. Now you can see anything? No? Come on, Mike. Okay, so it's not really showing anything on this deal. Oh, now we're drawing 1 amp even because this thing controls my, what's going on here? Oh, let's turn on the output. Oh, now it's locked. Okay, so I need to change the current because it is at 1 amp. And we really don't need 5 volts. Here we can go to 4. All right, so now we should be set. So hopefully this stuff will start showing up on the screen, right? Okay, so now we are actually getting something. I've got an Apple on the screen again. I'm gonna keep an eye on iTunes. I'm gonna get rid of this. Sorry, it's not really helping anyone. And let's see what's going on here. We are in recovery mode again. Come on. Why doesn't iTunes even move? Oh, that's bizarre. Now, I don't want to restore. Why are you... You're seeing something completely different than I am. That's bizarre. Okay, let's try this again. That was really weird. It was asking me to restore, and yet on my screen I wasn't seeing the same thing. I was seeing this. And this, would you just go away? There we go. Okay, so let's try this one more time. I'm going to disconnect, and you know what's weird is now it goes back down to 0.01. So I'm going to unplug and reconnect this USB cable. Actually, let's turn the power output off again. Disconnect that. Hit my power supply, and let's see if we can boot it again. Really need to get a USB port on my desk. Okay, so 0.127, 0.2, 0.14, 0.01. Drops down again, and we are back to can't be updated. I don't want to restore. I want to update. Do I need to close iTunes to make this stop giving me that? I do not want to restore. That would defeat the purpose. Let's see. 0.01 may be a bigger short. Check VDD main. Okay, I will do that momentarily, Nate. I want to give this one more shot. Okay, we're going to try to update this again. And it's probably going to tell me the same thing, but I just want to make sure if there's an easy fix, let's do it and not jump ahead. Now, when I checked VDD main before, there was no short. In fact, I checked quite a few different lines, and I didn't find anything that was even partially shorted as far as I can tell. But we'll go back and take a look in a second. And then we'll take a look underneath the stickers, too, because there's got to be some kind of clue as to what happened to this thing. It would have helped if the customer told me, but the fact that they took it somewhere else really complicates matters, right? Nate, tell us about your big plans, or are they secret? Preparing. Oh, and my chat's overlapping here. Man, I'm just all over the place today. I used to have this thing all nice and smooth like butter, Johnny, but not lately. It's been giving me too many headaches. Forget that I said it before. You got different readings. Oh, okay. All right, so extracting software. I got my finger on the charger right here to hold it in. It's probably going to give me 4013 again because, like I said, I don't think that it's going to be the charge port, and I'm pretty sure we can update without the rear-facing cameras. I hope that that's right, because if it's something that simple, then obviously I need to go and get some replacement cameras. But it doesn't seem like that would prevent it from updating, at least not with that type of error, right? Or am I missing something? I would expect something completely different. Okay, preparing iPhone. I have an Apple on the screen. It's weird. The only thing I've ever seen is the white screen in the back with the black apple comes on and then it goes away. Earlier when I was trying to update it, it did start the progress bar at one point and then the whole phone rebooted. So maybe a secondary line somewhere that's getting shorted when it powers up. Hey, John Cassidy, how you doing? I'm making Is It Real DIY stuff. That's how I made the night vision cell phone camera. What? The night vision cell phone camera? I didn't see that. But I do like your new camera, man. It looks way better. Okay, screen is blank, and again, 4013. Okay, so here we are with the lovely, don't really give us a whole lot of information other than maybe some kind of USB thing. Also, I want to say 4013 could be what? Isn't it? Isn't 4013 also potentially a NAND error, if I remember correctly? All right, so let's kill the power supply and take a close look at this board, and then you guys tell me if anything jumps out at you, because when I checked it the first time, I really didn't see anything that I thought would be, there was nothing obvious. Of course, there's no telling where the corrosion was on this thing, which always makes it fun. It is an adventure. But we know it's not this. We know it's not the cables. So unless there is something to the rear cameras preventing an update, and why is it stuck? And why, Mike, did you not try to kick it out of recovery mode a minute ago with 3U tools? That probably would have been the thing to do. That's one option that I have not tried. So before we go any further, let's see what happens if we do that. Because I really hate when I do way more complicated stuff than I need to. This is going to be my last thing I want to try. And if you guys haven't seen it any already, probably most of you have it, but 3U Tools is very helpful in many situations. God, I hate trying to route around these freaking cables too. And these antenna wires, annoying. Okay, so let's do this, plug this dude in again. Last time, I promise. All right, hold on just a second. I gotta check what this important text message is. Nice, sounds good. I'm in the middle of a live stream right now, though. I probably should put like one of those little smiley faces there so she doesn't think I'm being rude. I didn't mean it like, leave me alone, I'm in a live stream. I just meant I am unavailable at the moment, but you know how that goes. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful how you phrase it. Oh, come on, get on there. Come on, Mike, use your magnification. All right, it has been a week of sending me really crazy, complicated stuff. So I should kind of be used to it, but let's go ahead. And if you haven't already seen it, I highly recommend you download this if you work on phones. It is quite helpful. So let's open this up and put it on the screen. Yes. Okay, up here. And then display capture. There we go. So if you haven't seen this, it's awesome. It's actually, it succeeds in some areas when where iTunes will fail, which is cool. If you click, here's what's even better. Click this little button down here to close iTunes, and iTunes automatically closes so it doesn't keep popping up on the screen when you don't want it to. If we go here to iDevice, I don't think it's showing me it's connected yet, so let's give it a second. The phone's probably still trying to power up. What did Nate say? Uploading it now. I will be making another about free Wi-Fi next. Okay, cool. Okay, come on, phone. Do your thing. Should be turning on any second now. We should get something on the screen. And where are you? I would love to see what's going on the screen while it's trying to boot up, but it doesn't give me an image. It'll flash the apple and then nothing. And it should be on the screen here any second. Unless the battery's just like almost completely dead. We'll see if it shows. Let's see if it does show up on iTunes just for fun. I don't think that it will. Okay, so nothing on iTunes either. Yeah, I think this battery's low. So that may take a moment. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so cancel that. Done. Go over here, close iTunes. Okay, now we have iDevice connected, as you can see. We're going to say, okay. And we want to exit recovery mode. How cool is that? Remember that Tiny Umbrella used to do this, and then they stopped updating it, and it no longer has an option. Now we can see there is some information still showing up on this phone, which is a good sign. And we have the option to exit recovery. Will that actually happen? Probably not. It'll probably go back into recovery, but I'm more interested to see if there's any image showing up on the screen when I do that. So let's go exit recovery, and we have an apple. Oh, you guys can't see that, can you? Let's close that. Oh, you still can't see it. Well, you have to take my word. It's hard to see the apple, but it was there. And now the screen is blank again. And what's going on? Oh, and now I've got an apple again. So I don't know if this thing is going to start boot looping or what. Have you tried to restore with a new battery? I have not, Nate, but I have tried to restore with the power supply. And I think that that would be sufficient. Okay, so I got the apple to flash on the screen a couple times, and now it is back to, oh, now it's going to the apple again. So I think I might be boot looping at this point when I tried to get it out of recovery mode. That's kind of what it's looking like. So now what? Audio IC, TriStar, Tigris. What else could cause? I wonder if this is like an audio IC problem. Doesn't seem like it would be though, but they do occasionally boot loop, right? So can't really rule that out. And of course, this is for a friend. So if anything's going to go wrong, you know, that's my concern. Okay, so we're just getting a boot loop at this point. Damn you, Apple. Okay, 3U Tools did not save me this time. So let's close this down. And where is, bring that back. Baseband. Isn't baseband more likely to show as searching no service than to go? I mean, I imagine anything could boot loop, right? Anything could cause it to boot loop. But I'm getting a 4013 error on restore. All right, well, this didn't work, obviously. So let's do the fun part. Let's take a look inside and see if anything just says, hey, here's a big red sign, you know, because sometimes you get that. It just tells you. Hey, you know what I did recently, guys? I did a long screw damage repair on an iPhone 6, and it was the craziest one. You probably remember if you've been on the last couple streams, I was talking about it because it was a long project. And when I finished the long screw damage repair, I had to run a jumper right next to where the display cables are, right between the digitizer and the LCD connector. And I thought, if this customer ever breaks their phone, almost guaranteed someone's going to be rough with it, and they're going to tear that jumper when they release the screen, when they take, you know, when they go to unplug it. So I printed up a little decal and I stuck it on the battery with an arrow pointing to the connectors, and I said, attention technician, be very careful. There's a jumper wire here. When you go to unplug these things, I recommend that you do it from the edge because there's a wire running right between the middle of them. And I feel like that is my release of liability, right? If they mess it up now, then it's kind of on them because I've given them a warning. But it would be really nice if technicians like made notes of anything that's special about a repair or a phone, or maybe if you worked on it and you couldn't figure it out, you would say, okay, here's what I did and that didn't help, so, you know, take it from here kind of thing. But obviously what we usually get is just, hey, the phone doesn't work and somebody else worked on it, somebody else did something to it, and they didn't put all the screws back in, and they stole your cameras for some reason. I have no idea. I assume they were thinking this phone isn't going to work anyways, so the customer's not going to complain. But you don't just take people's stuff without their permission, right? It doesn't seem like a good idea. So obviously these stickers have been off before. That comes out easily, and I will take a look at the board. Sorry, pretty far from the microphone there. I always take a look at the board sideways, because as you mentioned, Nate, it could be something, especially along this area that we know gets bent. But I'm more likely to believe baseband or liquid damage than baseband, although it looks like it might have a slight bend. I guess they all do, but it doesn't look terrible. Let's go ahead and take this other lower sticker off because it's been out before. And guys, if I miss something, just shout. Put something in the chat there. Okay, so we'll start at the bottom here. Although the sticker at the top was tripped, and I didn't see any other liquid damage indicators in the phone, so I don't know what's going on here. But nothing looks crazy down here, right? I'll get a little closer here. This is the thing, is I have a different field of view than you do, and I'm trying to keep everything on screen. All right, so it looks clean, right? Looks clean. I don't even see, any signs of evaporation or heat here. Nothing crazy. Nothing looks burnt. Nothing looks broken. Oops, sorry. It's so hard. I can't get as close as I want to without making it so you can hardly see anything. If we go up here, nothing visibly damaged. At least nothing that I've come across yet. And I've checked. Checked voltage to the NAND. I've checked voltage to CPU and GPU. I want to say I checked voltage to the baseband, but we'll double check that also in a second. But for the most part, this phone, for having been wet, it looks very clean, except for this, right by the Wi-Fi. Although I haven't found anything that appears to be shorted close to the Wi-Fi at all. So I just don't know. Should I? Oh, and one other thing. Right up here at the top, they did manage to put a crack in this guy right here. Probably taking it out or putting it back into the housing. So let's see what that is exactly. Boy, I am just having a hard time keeping this where I want it to be. Okay, you go up there. Let's bring this back. And we'll stretch it out a bit. It's a 7 Plus, Nate. That's what I'm working on. Hopefully you won't have to replace the baseband PMU. Rewa Technology has a video on iTunes, Error 4013 on 7 Plus. For the baseband CPU, well, PMU, sorry. Have you checked for tears or ribbons on the cable? Well, that's obviously a good call because we did find one like that before, right? What if it's the home button or something silly? Thank you, Nate. See, this is why I'm glad you guys are here. And let's see. I don't see a tear. I see a little piece of tape on the... sorry, you can't see that. Okay. So we'll take a look here on the back because that got me before. Cables look clean here. This all looks good as far as I can tell. I don't think that we've got physical damage there. As far as the home button, again, I'm leaning towards a liquid damage solution just because we know that this thing got wet. But don't want to overlook something silly like maybe the front-facing camera, right? That would be fun. And it's weird. Take a look at that. That looks like a lot of discoloration here. I wonder if we could have liquid damage on the front camera. And this phone should boot without the camera attached, right? So let's give that a shot. I don't think this cable, it could be torn right there. Maybe. I might even have a 7 Plus front camera here. See, I would love it to be something easy like that again. But they obviously took it in for repair. But then again, maybe these guys messed it up when they were changing out a screen or something. Although this does looks OEM. There's no stickers on it or anything. And when look at this. That is OEM screen, or a very good counterfeit, right? Let's see. Pulling up to you. Front cam is needed last I knew. Really? All right, let me see if I have a 7 Plus front camera. And I don't think that I do, so that sucks. What is this? I have a camera here. Although I don't even know if this is a good one. Let's see. This looks like a 7 Plus camera. Right? Are you a 7 Plus camera? Look like one. That appears to be a 7 Plus camera. Now, I don't know that this is good, but I'm pretty sure it is, because I think we tried this when I was having trouble with a different phone. So let's give this a shot. And actually, we can do this the fun way, which again, I'm sorry guys, I'm really frustrated that I don't have a camera here for you today, but it just wasn't happening. So I'm going to plug in a different front-facing camera here, and then we're going to use our little red box that makes life easy, because we'll just plug this dude in. Is this my 7? That's my 6. Where's my iPhone 7 stuff? That's not it. Where's my iPhone 7 cable? All right. So we'll do this. Let's get our screen attached at the bottom. Really want to rule out anything easy, of course, before we get too crazy. All right, so different front-facing camera. And I guess I could plug in my, my box here. That would be smart. Of course, my camera shut down again. Has it been that long? Jeez. All right, let's see if we get anything. I got a 0.71, which is a good sign. 0.26. Guys, I don't even want to say what I'm going to do if this ends up being the freaking front camera. That's going to be awesome, actually. Okay, and it got up to almost 1 amp, and now it dropped back down, and we're at 0.07, and now we got the, looks like we got the boot loop again. But it's drawing more amperage than before. So it's going all the way up to like 500 milliamps, which is kind of now 700 milliamps, back down to, whoa, all the way back to 0.06, and I think we're looping again. Possible that this is a bad camera also. So let's see, can we get this camera? Can we get the Apple on the screen? That would be kind of cool. Let's see if it lights up. There it is. There's the Apple. What I see is cracked. Front cam is needed last time. You should try a new one if it looks water damage. What I see is cracked. I didn't see anything that was cracked. I saw corrosion next to the Wi-Fi chip. But yeah, it looks like we're still in a boot loop, although it seems to be drawing more amperage at this point. Why iPhones don't have a service menu by which one could test the different internal components, unlike with the dial pad code found on Android phones? Johnny, I think we know the answer to that, right? Why doesn't Apple make anything serviceable in most cases? Why can I not upgrade my MacBook Pro and put a better video card in that thing, or a better processor, or add memory? Well, technically you could add memory, but yeah, they seem to have that one figured out. All right, so we are back in a boot loop. So I'm going to just try detaching this front camera and see what happens. And then I might just unplug everything, although I don't think we can get any kind of boot without the home button plugged in, can we? Certainly won't be able to tell what's going on. So I really wish you guys could see what kind of power this thing's drawing. But my software doesn't seem to be doing what I thought it would. Let's see, maybe I'm on the wrong screen here. Oh, come back up here. 0.484. Oh, I can put it in Chinese. Let's see, data record. Will that do it? Data record? Is that doing any good? Did this thing loop while I wasn't looking? I'm guessing it probably did. You showed a little guy that you said looked chipped. Okay, I'll have to rewind that, Nate, but if I did, I misspoke. It looked like there was some corrosion there, but nothing. I think the front-facing camera cable looked like it might have a nick in it, but I'm pretty sure it didn't. But in either case, I've got it unplugged now, and we're staying on the Apple. And I may be wrong, but I thought that you could boot this without the front camera. It just takes a long time. Let's see. I really want you to be able to see this graph, but for some reason I can't get it to show up on the screen like it did before. It's bizarre. But if we're stuck on an Apple, that seems like progress. It'd be great, wouldn't it? Is like every problem solved by unplugging the front-facing camera. We'll be 2 for 2 if this does it. I know I'm being optimistic here, but it hasn't shut off yet, so that's kind of cool. This is semi-encouraging. The power consumption looks a little low. It's never getting above about 500 milliamps, though. So that's probably not a great sign. But maybe it just hasn't... Oh, it got up to 7, got up to 8. Got up above 1 just now. So maybe it just takes a very long time. I got my fingers crossed, and I'm not even superstitious, but this will be awesome if this thing works. Well, we didn't get to do any micro soldering, but again, let me not jump the gun here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Nate. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that you can get it to boot. It just takes like forever. But it's not looping yet, anyways. Please start up. And then I'm going to wish I had the USB connected, which we can't do that with this power supply, but at least this will be a good indication. All right, so other than that, I don't know how much more time we'll have for anything else. I was going to mess around with this iPad Pro. I did a connector. Let's see if I have it here. I did replace one of the connectors on this iPad Pro, and I'm thinking about doing the other one. I believe that the digitizer and the LCD are tied in together in a way that makes it so that both of them have to be functioning, if that makes sense. I know that we can get the LCD to turn on and we have no touch, or we might have touch when we don't have the LCD, but I think that it's interesting that there's a touch filter right above the LCD connector and right above the digitizer connector on the iPad Pro. I'm talking about the first generation 12.9. So I'm wondering, because these connectors look terrible, like they literally look like they were hit with the camera. Actually, I can show you what I'm talking about here. Let's see. There we go. I don't want to jar... Oh, what just happened? Do we just loop again? Or is that the beginning of the one time that it goes black and turns back on? Find out in a minute. Anyways, I want to show you this in a second. These connectors are just badly beaten. Let's see, can we do this without disturbing our iPhone? Maybe if we get focused just right. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Let's do this. Okay, so if you can see on the edges there, the plastic on these is pretty chewed up on both these connectors. Like they should snap right into place, but they're so mashed that they don't really want to connect. So that makes it a little tricky even to know when you're plugging in. And that's just on the display. The motherboard itself looks even worse. I was hoping I'd pull that away and see an unlock code. So let me grab this. Oh, and by the way, Nate, if you think that iPad mini digitizer connectors are fun, wait till you do one of these. This is, let's see. Okay, so this is the one. Come on. Am I going to be too far away? Too close. Okay, this is the one that I replaced. You can see it's not perfect, but it looks better than it did. You take my word for it. This dude over here, or am I backwards? I may be backwards. Hold on a second. I'm losing my mind here. See if we can zoom in here. Okay, so you can see these look pretty decent, right? I mean, I need to clean a little flux off of them. But this one, you see how it looks like the pins are almost pushed into the plastic in the center? I'm suspicious that this may not be making a connection. This filter is replaced. This filter was replaced by someone else, and you can see they kind of dug into the board a little bit, but it's not making any contact, so I think that's safe. But this thing was so beat up, it was just mashed in to where you couldn't even recognize the edges of it. And this one, it's got a tough time getting plugged in, so these are fun to do. I'm probably going to do that other one this evening. And it looks like we're still on a boot loop, so I don't know if this phone's going to come back. I have my doubts. Let's see. Can your computer see it? Can the computer see the iPhone? Because if you're talking about that, that is a good question, and I don't know because I don't have the USB connected. And I would have to go through this whole thing again, which I don't mind doing. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. That should be enough time, right? Maybe it will show up on the computer. But the question is, if it does, then that would lead us to believe that it's the audio IC. Is that what you're getting at, Nate? Because obviously we can't recover any data if there's a passcode on it, even if the computer does see it when we're stuck on the Apple, right? Unless I'm missing something. But let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to kill the power and go through this one more time. And hopefully this time we'll get a better result. Although I hate using these cables that don't have the button because I have to kind of hold them in place. They don't really stay on their own. These dudes right here, they work, but if you don't keep your finger on it and you shift anything, they just come unplugged and kind of sucks. Someone could improve on this system and make it stay plugged in better. That would be a welcome improvement. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to plug in my USB cable, and then I'm going to put my finger on the power cable. Oh, you know what? Let's unplug. I'm going to connect the lightning port and unplug the USB port because it's much easier to plug that back in without messing anything up in the process. See, is any of this on the camera? Not much, right? Okay, so there's that. This is what I'm going to put my finger on here. Come on. And then the weight of the cable is going to be a headache. There's just so many things to secure. Okay, you sit here, would you? All right, there we go. So you stay there. We'll get our 7 Plus. Let's turn off the power. Where's my 7 Plus at? 7G, 7 Plus. I like how they call everything a G nowadays. It's not the 7G, I don't think. All right, so let's unplug the USB, turn on the power, connect the USB one more time, and I will be able to answer your question there shortly, Nate. So let's see. Okay, so we got our Apple. I know you can't see it, but there is an Apple on the screen. And it's going through, let's see, we're at 0.18, 0.5, 0.3. So it looks like we're getting somewhere. Further than we did before I unplugged that camera, at the very least. And if it shows up on here, great. And let's see, this isn't helping at all. So I'll just go back to this for now. Let's see. After checking the resistor in your Wi-Fi, I would reball baseband, power management, RF, and check for bad pads. After checking the resistor in your Wi-Fi. Okay, I'll check that in just a second then. Right now I'm going to see if this thing does get detected by the computer or not. So we want to make sure that we have, is 3U still open? Okay, there's 3U. We'll go back here, and if this thing shows up as a device, we may actually be getting somewhere. Maybe. Let's see, that goes here. There we go. Oh, so let's look at BB. Let's look at BBPM URF then. Oh, is that not actually a line? Is that called something different? BBPMU. That should be down here, right? Are you just talking about just check the baseband BBPMURF. Okay. Okay, well, where are you? Is it right in front of my face? Or is it called something else? Is that the exact name of the line, Nate? Because I'm not seeing it here. So I'm skipping past it too fast. Please connect. Type it in as ZXW. All right, fine. Actually, I could type it into here, I think. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. It's not saying. Oh, okay. I got you. Here we are. I can type it in here too. Oh, so you're just talking about the baseband PMU, which I've done quite a few. I've reballed quite a few of these because of the searching no signal problem. One I ended up actually replacing. I mean, we could try that, I guess. But you think that's going to be a boot loop source rather than the audio IC? I take it. Right? I mean, we can try it. I just hate to start guessing, you know? I would like to see something that leads me to believe that I'm looking in the right place. So far, no connection. See if iTunes says anything different just for the heck of it. Fast boot loop is usually audio IC. Okay, and yeah, that makes sense. This is definitely a slower boot loop. I mean, I can try it. Certainly can't hurt, right? Although this could be a very long, like you said, if it's actually showing up at some point, I don't want to give up too early. Probably a lot of people going, this is the most boring stream ever. I wouldn't blame you. This is not my ideal situation, but I didn't want to just leave everybody hanging and not do a stream this week at all. So for those of you that showed up, thank you. But I don't really feel like... I'm going to give it a second. I think it's going to that part where it kind of turns off and comes back on, maybe. Or it's just done. And now we are stuck at 0.02. Yeah, so we're drawing 20 milliamps and that's it. And it's not even showing up as being in recovery mode. So, suppose we give that a shot. That's interesting. No signs of life. All right. Are you feeling heat anywhere? Yeah. Oh, no, dude, guys. Look at this. It just showed me a picture on the screen. Son of a... Hold on a second. I swear to you, I just saw an image of somebody holding a baby on the screen. Look at this. Oh, you can't see it, can you? Crap. Zoom out. Dudes. Nate, it's here. I have a prompt for a lock code. We win! Now, what is the lock code? Hold on a second. And sorry if I... Actually, you guys won't be able to see it, so I'm safe there. I didn't want to show anybody's stuff, but you won't be able to see it anyways because it's so zoomed in. Let's see if the lock code works. Oh, man, I'm so happy. I was about to give up. How do I get the screen to turn back on? Come on. Come on, screen. It just turned on a second ago. No. There we go. Okay. So I had an image of a baby. Sorry, I gotta kill this for a second, guys, just in case there's any privacy issues. Let's see. So the passcode, is it registering? No, that's not the passcode. You're killing me. Okay, so I'm looking at a passcode prompt and I have the wrong passcode. So I'm going to keep this thing plugged in and try to get this data. I hope we can get this guy's correct lock code. Hold on one second. I have the phone turned on and connected to iTunes. Do you have the correct password? Oh, you're killing me. All this, and I got it to turn on, and he gave me the wrong passcode. Come on, guys. But he did give me 2 phones, so that kind of makes sense. But I need the one for this one. I wish you could see this. Again, there's somebody's kid on here, so I don't want to show too much. But I definitely have an image. Come on, how'd I get? But it's like, there we go. Okay, so let's see. So you don't have to think I'm making this up. Look at that. I actually have a passcode prompt, but I don't have the right passcode. This sucks. So I'm gonna sit here with my finger on the button here for a minute. The stream is getting into Star Trek engineering territory where no one has gone before. Yeah. Hey, Johnny, thanks for coming out. And I really felt bad. I wasn't able to do my stream earlier this week, and I really feel bad about how this setup is at the moment. But I promise you, week after next, I'm going to have this squared away and cool things happening where everything just works and you can see what's going on. So thanks for everyone for hanging in there and coming back. Just for the hangout, you know, if nothing else, I figured this is a cool place for us to just pass the time and talk about tech stuff. So I hope that we can get this stupid password. There is a password on the invoice, but it does not work. I'm assuming it's for the other phone. I'm seriously holding my finger on the power supply right now to keep the phone turned on so we can back it up. I'm going to try entering it one more time, just in case I fat fingered this thing and put the wrong passcode, but I'm pretty sure I did it right. Come on. How in the world did I get the... What I don't understand is how the screen turns on. There we go. Because it's like 0. Nope, that's not the passcode. Okay, he's calling him right now. So I don't know how this screen turns on. The home button doesn't seem to turn it on, but if I tap it a few times, eventually it does. So I don't know what's going on here anyhow. This is interesting enough for those who are passionate about keeping gadgets in working order. Man, did you see this, Johnny? Did you see the screenshot? It's actually on. I don't even... Wow. So again, yes, Nate, we can definitely boot without the front-facing camera or the rear-facing cameras, which we kind of knew that already. But it takes a long time. And if you don't have the right password, then this is all for nothing, right? I just want to get this thing to start backing up. And then I won't feel as bad about ending the stream because I wanted to have some kind of success. And I didn't think it was going to be this phone, honestly. I didn't think this was going to work. But, man, the lesson that I teach myself, that I reinforce to myself over and over is don't overthink it and don't try the complicated thing first. Stick with the easy stuff. And whoever it was that mentioned it, it was probably one of you guys that said, try the front-facing camera, check the cables again. And that was almost definitely the reason this thing was stuck in a boot loop. Unless we just got lucky. Who knows? My back's killing me. Week after next is Christmas on Tuesday. Okay, that'll work. Oh, then that makes Monday Christmas Eve, which is okay. I don't mind doing a stream on Christmas Eve. And we'll be clear for Thursday. So that no scheduling conflict for me there. And of course, if you guys can't watch it live, you can always come back for the, what do you call it? The replay. But next year, I definitely want to start doing more of the kind of off-topic videos that we did recently. The one that I did with Nate, it's going crazy. It's getting more views than probably my last 20 videos. So I really want to go back to talking about things that are, you know, maybe even tech related, but not necessarily phone stuff. I will be rebranding this channel sometime early in the new year. So it's not going to be phone repair. It's going to be something else that's a little more broad. But I really look forward to doing Hangouts where we have guests. Johnny, you're probably dying to see somebody else's face besides mine on here. So I promise that's coming soon also. It won't just be me for much longer. We're going to have some cool guests coming on here, and it is going to be a lot of fun. And my channel is going to explode in popularity and make me tons of money. Otherwise, I'm going to ask how long I can keep doing this and not really get paid for it. But, you know, altogether, it's fun. I do enjoy it. So, good night. Okay, Johnny, I know you probably got to get home. It's late over there. Thanks for joining us. Happy holidays. Be safe out there. And hopefully we'll have a password here momentarily. and I can be done for the evening. Nate, what are you working on, man? We were going to do the pass it around, try to figure stuff out. You still at the shop? And why can you not see? You should be able to see what I'm doing here. I don't understand this, and I'm kind of afraid to click anything that's going to mess up my power supply because this phone is actually on. We just never know what's going to happen next. So let's put something else on the screen instead of this. My new favorite picture. I will publish mine as soon as you finish. Okay, cool. We'll check it out. Hopefully we can finish this anytime soon. This is weird. I tap the home button, nothing happens. But eventually the screen comes on. It's really weird. Very, very strange. Oh, and it says Touch ID requires your passcode. So maybe the home button is not functioning, but the Touch ID is. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. So I think by holding my finger on there long enough, it triggered it. Is that how this thing works? I don't know. I don't use Touch ID. Ah, come on, guys. Give me a password. Get me a password. And let's see if we can look at iTunes, because it's probably going to say, or 3U, please connect. That's weird. How come? So I guess it's not going to show me anything until I unlock it. I'm hoping that's the case. Otherwise, we're going to have to figure out a different way to back this thing up. So I suspect that iTunes still won't show anything until we put the passcode in. So that's not going to help. But we do need iTunes to back it up. So let's do that. Actually, we can back up in 3U tools also, can't we? I think. Yeah, still nothing here yet. Come on, guys. Okay, calling. Hang on, calling now. All right, that was 5 minutes ago. Killing me, guys. All right, do I keep the stream going? We know that we have somewhat got success here. I don't want to keep everybody on for no reason. When my new internet is installed, the dual stream should be fun. Oh yeah, that is going to be a blast. This is so much easier to have a conversation than to just talk by yourself. But yeah, that'll be awesome. When are you getting your internet upgrade anyways? If I may ask. Man, I'm afraid to plug any. I want to put another camera on here so everyone can see what's going on, but I'm afraid to mess anything up. No answer, I will text now. Oh my gosh, you're killing me. This guy's not answering his phone. All I need is his passcode and we can back it up. Hey, did you get another microscope camera, Nate? Or I think you said you adjusted the settings on the one that you have and things are working better now, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Oh, wow, we got 6 people watching. Well, thanks for hanging in there, everyone. I know this isn't the most entertaining, but I'm literally just sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for this passcode to come in so we can back up this phone. January 1st, cool. Nate will have full blast internet starting at the first of the year, which will be awesome. What else was going on? There was some interesting stuff that I was gonna do as far as tech news stuff this week if I didn't have a phone to work on. But I do have several. We'll see what's going on. Anything interesting today? There was something besides that guy who didn't know anything about technology that was pretty crazy. I remember reading recently. We need to go to... How are my topics? What in the world is going on here? Yes, I have the world's loudest keyboard also. If you didn't already notice. Let's see. Not a whole lot of tech stuff. Taylor Swift uses facial recognition software to detect stalkers at LA concert. That kind of makes sense, I guess. That's kind of freaky. YouTube removed 1.6 million channels last quarter, mostly for being spam or scams. Not a surprise. 1.6 million channels? How many freaking channels are there on YouTube? That's insane. Those are just the fake ones. There must be like millions upon millions. That is crazy. I don't know how they store all this stuff. Let's see. Apple announces plan to build $1 billion campus in Texas. Oh, that sounds fun. There was something on here that I wanted to talk about, and I can't find it now for some reason. Not new, just new settings, and it looks way better. Awesome. Yeah, that's the frustration I have with this camera also. This DSLR should be like way better than it is already, and one of the crazy things is the lighting is really funky. Like if you end up getting it set so that the light is correct for video, when you go to take a picture, it's all washed out, like it's too bright. So it's like you have to go back and forth between two different modes, depending on if you're doing a still image or video, which really sucks. Human heart found on Southwest flight. What? That's weird. Oh, where is it? It's old news by now, you know? It's funny. Every time something comes up, everything else gets buried, apparently. Yeah, I can't find it. They were talking about the Google search engine that they're working on for China, which a lot of the employees are opposed to because, as you know, China pretty much practices censorship and they control a lot of what people have access to. And I think that the feeling was that the employees were opposed to it because, you know, you're helping them achieve their goal, right? Like basically they will not let Google in China. And if you travel to China, they will tell you when you arrive there, apparently, that you have to be very careful about what you say. You can't incite any sort of, opposition to the government, that kind of thing, which, yeah, that's how it is, right? I mean, it's a communist country, technically, I think. And at the same time, you have Google employees who are saying that, no, we should not build a search engine that adheres to their practices of censorship, which I understand, and I think their heart's in the right place, but probably the bottom line is that if they don't end up using something that Google made, then they're going to end up using something that someone else made, and I would assume that they're probably looking at it from the business standpoint. It's like either you get a piece of this pie or you don't, you know, and if you don't, it's still going to exist. You know, they're still going to be doing what they do. But I certainly can see where the employees are coming from. You know, it doesn't seem like when your motto was "Don't be evil" at one point, that you should kind of maintain that spirit when it comes to working with a lot of countries who do things differently than we do. You know, being an American-based corporation, I would think, just my opinion. But the bottom line ends up generally being money, so I'm not sure that's going to change. I'm certainly not going to be the one to convince them to do something different. Let's see. Oh, and the one of the Voyagers finally entered. The second Voyager just entered interstellar space. Did you hear that? Crazy. After like what, 40 years or something like that. Let's see. Come on, guys. I need this password. Killing me. I just want to be done. I want to back up this phone and be finished. Let's see. Has anyone... Oh, hey, Johnny, you're still here. I thought you took off. Has anyone caught wind of Taylor Swift honeypotting her potential stalkers with face recognition software? I don't know. I was just kind of reading the headline, and I didn't get far into the article there, but that is interesting. Let's see what it says. Let's just search. Can we just Control F this bad boy? Yes, we can. Taylor. What? And now she doesn't show up? Are you kidding me? That's weird. It must have been on the popular section. Second intergalactic home run for Team Voyager. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, right? I remember when those things launched. It was like back in 70-something. I think it was like 77, 78. And I know that they didn't take a straight, a direct route out of the solar system. They kind of did that thing where they slingshot around a couple planets and they took a lot of pictures and stuff. But man, 30-some years ago, just to get to the edge of the solar system. And it just really makes you... And it's so many... I think it's in the billions of miles distance-wise from here. it just makes you like, it's amazing when you put that into perspective. That's just one little tiny dot. Our solar system within a galaxy, within, all these millions or billions of galaxies out there. It's just crazy. And we just reached the edge of our solar system. Mind blowing. Okay, apparently he's not getting back to me, so I think I'm going to walk away from this phone. Hope that it stays plugged in, because obviously I can't just leave my finger here all night. And now the screen's not turning on. Come on, wake up for me. Tell me you're still on. I don't know what it was that I did. I tapped the button a certain way. I think I triple tapped. And now I got nothing on the screen. Oh, okay, there we go. So if you tap the button enough times, it shows up. I'm going to leave this thing plugged in. There's really no need for me to keep you all here waiting. I hope that this has a happy ending. I think that it does. All I need is the right passcode and we should be in. So I'm going to consider this one a success. Of course, the only question is, will it communicate with iTunes once we get it to unlocked? And it should. I'm confident that's going to happen, or at least I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. But I need to get back to work on some other things that are not going to fit under the microscope. So I'm going to walk away from this one, leave it right here. And I will almost definitely be back next Monday at 2 p.m. I won't be doing the stream next Thursday because I got other stuff going on. And then we'll be coming up on Christmas holiday pretty quick. But no scheduling conflict there. We can do a Christmas live stream. The Voyagers were the first interplanetary mission starting with Planet Mars lander. Yeah, that's just amazing that those things are out, that they've been out there for so long. And at the same time, it's just such a microscopic speck, within our solar system even. And think of how small that thing is. It's not even a planet. It's just this thing, probably as big as a Volkswagen, right? That's flying through space. And I always wonder, we're going to look for life, or hope that life discovers us. And it's going to be millions or billions of years. Probably, geez, I can't only imagine. Like by the time it gets to another solar system somewhere, we'll all be dust by then, I guess. But who knows? Anything could happen. Anyways, guys, thanks again for joining me. I'm going to get out of here, grab something to eat, and then get back to work on some other crazy stuff. Have a great one, and hopefully I'll see you next Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.